and get my fingerprints all over this again. I really don't think it matters too much other than that, the fingerprints, other than that. Well, the oil, I don't know. Oils may or may not be an issue. Let's see. I really don't want to just deal with this, caps are just going to go. Gonna yellow it. Use the bottle as a stop gap for it. Still got a little bit all over the place. Okay, dry one here. I don't think those little bends will matter that much, to be honest. It's supposed to actually be to make it a little more turbulent, so that the water is able to absorb a little more heat. So I think that'll just add to the turbulence to it a bit. We'll see if that actually works in practice. I don't think it's going to matter too much. Let's see. So I'm going to install it with the bent going up a little bit. That might help too, and I'm kind of messing around with the seal over here where you can't see it. So I think this will be better now. Let's make sure the seal is proper there. Alright, it's going to throw this back on, and we'll try this again for a second time. The correct way this time. Alright, the seal looks fine. I don't know if you can see it, the cold plate got a little tiniest bit of a little bend in it. It's nothing much, just a little tiny thing. You can hardly even notice it. I'm going to make sure we go horizontal. Again, I don't think it'll matter too much, because once you bolt it down correctly onto the system, it's going to straighten itself out. Alright, famous last words though. Go ahead and tighten these down a bit. Don't want to go all the way this time. I want to go down far enough that, you know, it's obviously done. But I also don't want to go so far that, I'll reconnect my app here so I can see what's going on. So I just check out the seal and see what's going on with it. Make sure it's properly fitting this time. So you want to go down maybe so that the screws are almost, you know, in light contact with the plate. That'll allow you to see. I'll give you a good idea of the fit. I hadn't even actually started to screw this one down yet. So let's have a look here. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. So I can get all the way around. Let's go ahead and tighten it all the way down. Yeah, it's much. It feels much better now in terms of how quickly they're tightening up. The other one was like insane how slow they were to tighten up. That was like it should have been a sign instantly something was wrong. I didn't put two and two together though, because it is like freaking almost 11 o'clock at night, and I'm no longer a night owl. Although I could probably become one again very easily. I'm trying not to though. So let's have another look here. Good. Just checking each individual side here. Well, I think we have a pretty good seal going on there. Okay, there we go. So we have changed out the jet plate and the insert to better match the optimum settings or configuration for this thing, for this model of processor we're going to be using. And that's going to conclude the video for tonight. Won't be doing a more till Friday, where we're actually going to start the build proper. Actually, what I will do, we will do one more thing here. Just because I want to do it right now. It's not going to be that big of a thing. I probably should have done it with the graphics cards and the motherboard too, but we'll do this now. Go ahead and attach the fittings here to this thing. So one thing you want to, it says on here, one thing you want to be aware of is that, it doesn't matter for this, so I just want to mention now, that the inlet ports has to be the G1 port nearest, so this is your input port, this is your output, your inflow, outflow, inlet, outlet. Just, you know, that you have to be aware of that. That's a requirement of putting this thing in. I guess because it goes down here, there's a lot of thing that tribulates through there and comes out there. Yeah, so you just put these in. Got this, screws right in. Again, you just want to go hand tight. You don't want to go like with pliers. I guess some people use pliers and things, but hand tight is just sufficient for, just fine for the, for using these things, using for this purpose here. I want to get the, now I've screwed this down so hard that I can't get the compression fitting part off. Great. Well, yeah, that's how it'll look when we put the fittings on. I'll actually get some other fittings and I'll deal with these later. Should have just brought this box over. Jeez. So I guess I'll do that. This table is a mess right now. And if you can, I guess you can see. So have a look. This is the table. It's just, you know, parts strewn across it for miles. All the way down there, the lonely radiators and some other stuff just sitting over there. Like, when are we going to get screwed over with all this awesomeness? Let's see. Maybe we'll get some that are already out here. So I don't have to take any more fittings out of their packages just yet. Let's see. No, that's not going to work either. Damn. My kingdom for a compression fitting that's not super tightened down. Maybe we'll just have to open up some more. I don't really mind, it's just, yeah, knowing opening up 1,000 of these before we're actually ready to use them. I had to take the wrench to some of those. Just got them tightened down beyond all reasoning. Probably shouldn't tighten them down onto the G1/4 threads while they're compression, whatever barb or whatever it is on top. It's on. They help a lot for gripping, but yeah, at the same time, then you can't get them off again. So yeah, you just screw them on, finger tighten them, and put this back on. And there you have it. Ready to go. Yeah, these have rings on them, so you don't have to worry about that. Yeah, some people say that you should, take some wrench, maybe some cloth or something, rub it over, and use the wrench to tighten them down even further. But finger tight is really all you need. Tightening them anymore is, just might give you a peace of mind, but it's excessive. So this sits on top of this sits on the CPU like this. Well, yeah, because it'll go in here, come out here. So this is probably actually how it'll be sitting in my case. It'll be coming out of the radiator into there, out, or some form of that. And then inlet, outlet, tubing will go into here. And that'll be it for tonight. Tomorrow well, Friday I guess, not tomorrow. I'll go over and we'll do the fittings for the cards and motherboard, the graphics card blocks and the MOSFET block, and then we'll progress with the build finally. So that's going to be it for tonight. Thanks for watching. If you liked the videos, hit the like button, subscribe, share. Help me out by helping the channel grow a bit. And we'll be back tomorrow in a couple days to start the build and get this beast up and running. Well, maybe not, because we need the process. We need the fans still. Those will hopefully come by then now. So until next time, it's Will, and I will see you later. So we have to do some mechanical stuff with this pump here. Some actual modifications here to it. Because we're going to put on this new pump top. So, first thing you got to do is get it out of the box again. Seems to be a very difficult task for some reason. Got this, got these. Keeps out here, okay. So the part that's coming off is this top section here. So let's go ahead and open up the EK pump top box here. Then another instruction manual. These got this hardware here. Okay. Twist left to unscrew. So yeah, this top will just come off, but I think we'll go ahead and take off the mount right now. What's going on? Twitter. Got some Twitter stuff going on. So I'm just taking this off right now to make it easier to work with the pump top. Plus, I guess we'll need to actually take it off to get the pump top off too. So yeah, have to do that. Because we'll want to use this mount for bolting it onto the case, to pump onto the case. Or actually, I don't know how that, I guess it wouldn't work that way, would it? Because it's not going to, it'll be a different mounting mechanism, I guess. We'll have to see. Talking to my friends from work today about the fact that he could do this kind of stuff if he watched my videos, but that he probably wouldn't, because he wouldn't be going around tearing apart $100, at least $100 valued equipment like this pump top here is. This pump here is like 98 or so. The cards were like 400 each or so. So twist left to unscrew, it says. I think I'm tightening it. So, if we have it sitting this way, it says to go. No, I guess I was going the right direction. It's just on here really tight. Ah, no. It's the opposite direction. Damn it. I was tightening it down. Ugh. Need some more leverage now. Let's see. What do we do with this thing? I need to go up and get a towel or something. Find one down here somewhere. This might be a little too smooth. Try it with this thing. Yeah, this doesn't even look too well. So I'm going to pause this while I go and try and unscrew this thing, and we'll be back. A towel will work every single time on stuff like this. So, the top just screws off like so. There you go. We're going to make sure we keep a few of these things. Well, maybe we don't need that because this comes through this side. There's an O-ring on the top itself. So this is actually what the pump is. This is the pump here in all its glory. So what we want to do now is unwrap the. There's no foil on this EK symbol. Huh. But unwrap this stuff. Then read the directions carefully this time, so we don't have any more frack-ups. Like on the CPU change out here. So, install the pump onto the motor housing. Ensure you use the O-ring gasket, which is this here. That's applied because I don't think this is large enough. Actually, this might go on there. So, let me see. So we got the pump top, which is this. This is the bottom section. Mounting plate. So this goes on top. This goes on underneath, apparently. So, do we use this then? The one from this? No. It's got to be the ring from the actual pump itself. Yeah, so it fits in there too well. It's like made for the damn thing. Install on top. Make sure to install EK provided 16 by 3 mm O-ring gasket. Reseat gasket needed. And this is the one they're talking about here. Or, I don't know, maybe not. Let's see. There is no gasket in here, though. I don't think. No, all it's in here is the mounting plate. Nothing else in this box. I'm pretty sure this is what's supposed to be used there, and they're talking about this here. Even if not, it fits in here perfectly. It shouldn't be a problem. If it is, though, we'll know because I'm going to do a leak test before we do anything. And I'll be able to deal with it. So this goes in here. Put this on top here. Thinking maybe this does go here. Around the edge or something. Okay, no, so I guess that is how it goes. Like that. I guess, no, yeah, this is how the seal forms with this on top of it. So this comes down to, around it and sandwiches the O-ring in there. Okay, so that's how it goes. Now, which side do we put on here? So, well, it has to be the thread. It has to be this side. So the side that has the kind of the indentation, threading looking thing that has to go on. That side has to go down. That just has to. That's just how it works. And they give you a bunch of screws in here that we need to use. So let's get those out. There's also a plug. Some Allen wrenches. These are actually Allen wrench screws again. I don't know what the UK, EU, whatever has, the specification they have with these freaking Allen wrench screws. Maybe it's because they can charge more for them or something. So make sure things are lined up properly. And these are all the same size, I'm pretty sure, so yep, doesn't matter. So where do they go in? Okay, one there. Here. Here. Over here. Yeah, there. Here. Actually, these are two different types of screws here. Like, that's for the back plate. So there are two screws that are not like the rest of them. Those are the ones for the back plate. Okay, so that's where all these screws go here. Bring it up there so you can see. That's how these screws are laid out. Then we'll go ahead and proceed to tighten these down. It says not to over tighten them because the gasket will, the O-ring will seal itself or provide a nice liquid tight seal. So you don't need to go hog wild on these. Probably just finger tight, just a little below finger tight. I'm not going to tighten them all down until I get things, all of them tightened to a specific point though. Again, just to make sure that things are tightening down equally on all sides. So when it comes to making seals, you don't want to mess around. Again though, EK could really use some help fixing up their damn installation manuals, installation things, pamphlets, because they tell you how to do it. They have images to show you how things go. They're not picture perfect, they're not totally accurate, and the instructions are not very thorough. So you kind of have to muddle around like I was just doing earlier. Or look online and see. Let's have a little look here and see how things look. So far it looks pretty good. This one here needs to be tightened down. It's pretty even across of where it's at right now, so there's no like one side that's higher than the other. So let's go ahead and tighten these all the way down now. Summoner Wars. Again, just, you know, barely to where you get to finger tight is where you want to stop at. Because you don't want to strip this plexi. And again, try and keep your fingers away from the edges because if you get them caught, it's probably going to hurt like hell. Friendly neighborhood douchebags on their four-wheelers. I actually saw a bloody doom. No, I'm not joking. I saw some guy in a doom buggy racing around outside. We got this kind of diversion channel up on our house, and there's these guys that have these four-wheelers and things. They had a bloody doom buggy out there the other day, nearly running people over. They've actually been told by the cops to stop driving out there, but I guess they're the good old boys. Have a problem dealing with authority. Giving them all a little extra tightening down. Gotta talk like a Texan. Tightening down just to make sure things are properly seated. And everything's just as good as it can be. But you don't want to go more than what I'm going here. I think it's pretty good. So let's have a look. Pretty much perfectly flush all the way around. Looks pretty good. And so here you go. There's the pump top on top of the pump. Now what we need to do is we got the plate here. The plate. Okay, there's two holes here, if you can see them. And this is where your mounting plate's going to go. Is right on top here. These two over here are for LEDs, so don't put anything into them. These ones are the ones that are threaded, so the mounting plate will go here or it'll go here. Either way, you can do it. The other two holes are meant for, well, this way or this way, because you want to have the kind of flared out holes for these screws to fit into, and the other two here are for mounting. I guess you use the mounting screws provided in the kit for that. Where did these come from? I'm trying to figure out where these screws came from. What the heck? Just like sitting out here like, oh, I don't know, where it is here for the party. So what we're going to do now is install the hardware. Hi everyone, this is GeoWill from Left Man Productions Squared, and we're back to continue the pre-build. A couple things we still have to do before we start building, which we'll start today too. Also, I wanted to just mention with the camera here, there's a setting that you can use, because the battery on this thing is not really too good. I think I tightened this down a little too much on this one. I want to be able to move you around a little bit as the need arises. So pretty steady. So the battery on this thing doesn't last very long at all, really. And that's really because of a couple things. One, you have to turn the Wi-Fi off. It won't automatically turn off, at least on the firmware version I have, and I can't do anything about that. I can't update the firmware until after I get this new system up and running, because it has a card reader in it. My other one doesn't know how to read. Put a card on there for it to read, and you cannot update the camera without first letting the update file onto the SD card. So it won't turn off automatically even when you turn off the phone. You have to turn it off manually. So if you leave it on, it'll stay on. Also, the lights that are flashing, the LED lights to tell you the status of things, yeah, those are on. Those are also going to drain a lot of power for some reason. I don't know why. So I've got all that stuff turned off. I actually also decreased the view angle from wide to medium or mid. So hopefully that'll be a little more life there as well. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to install the this is the EVO, right? Yeah. I wonder if this will fit in here. No, okay. So that was right. Okay. EVO hardware. Sounds like tobacco, maybe even marijuana, I don't know. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to put the hardware on the other stuff, and also then install the pump top onto the pump, and then from there we'll go ahead and start with the build proper. So first things first, let's go ahead and do the these things, the radiators. You know, maybe I should put you on top of a box here. We'll also be doing the graphics cards too today as well. Put you on top of one box, so a little higher vantage point there. Let's help down a little bit. You already got the caps on here where they need to go, so that's fine. You just got to put the actual fittings onto them before we go any further here. So I can try and unscrew some of the fittings from the other night that we're having crap tons of trouble with. Let's see. Well, that's really not going to do anything now, is it? So let's see. There we go. Well, it started to go. There we go. Let's see. Should be one more in here somewhere. Box of things, there it is. Maybe even two more. I'm also going to unwrap all that stuff too. Let's see. That one was really stuck on. Yeah, scratched it a little. It shouldn't matter. These aren't like barb fittings where the the edges really matter. What matters is the compression that you put on by screwing this down. So I'm not too worried about that. So actually probably have all the fittings we need for the moment. Not here right now. But again, I'm just going to go ahead and unwrap all the other ones too. Wow. Another one that's on there pretty tight. Wow. Really horsed these ones down. I think this is the one from last night. Not sure how well the camera, the light is on that. Saw the lights coming from up there. It's kind of muting out the image a little bit. So we got all those off. Let's see, 2, 4, 5. Looks like we're gonna need 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're gonna need 8 of these. So need another or 8 sets of them, I should say. So So actually, yeah, we're gonna need most of the stuff that's in here, really, if I think about it. So let's just go ahead and pull this out. Let's do it this way. And start, put this stuff back in, because that's already done. Start unwrapping all this stuff. And also unscrewing as well. Where required. So this is ready to go. It doesn't really matter, you know, these are all the same size compression fittings, so any barb section will go with any compression section. There may be minute differences in them, but they're all pretty much the same. Nothing that really is large enough of a difference to make any kind of impact on it. This one seems to have a little bit of bad threading. Especially for what you're seeing here is literally, you know, a bunch of, like, $200 worth of hardware here. Making a custom water loop is not cheap by any stretch of the imagination. Especially when the cheaper options you can't get because they're on a website that's gone out of business. Thank you very much, Frozen CPU. And Amazon doesn't carry this kind of stuff. They carry some of it, but they don't carry everything that you need. There's another tip for Amazon. Get into the water cooling business or get more suppliers that will give you this stuff because you can make some money. I think we've probably got enough to start here. So what we'll do is I'll take this stuff away. Empty bags, well, it's the ones that are empty. Take these away. Throw them over here somewhere. My half section of styrofoam that's becoming my trash receptacle. Store the rest of these fittings over here. Unwrap them as needed. There's going to be 2 extra that we may or may not need. We'll do it from then. Okay, let's put the camera up there. Alright, so we got these. Grab 2 of these, 2 of these. So we're going to go on the bottom with these. This will be sitting on the back fan area. Interesting. Maybe it's supposed to look like that. Kind of still a little rusty or something. It's strange. I guess that's just out there painted or something. It's just kind of rusty from one angle. I guess this is how it looks. I didn't notice that before. Oh yeah, I just didn't notice it because I was blind. So we're going to go on the bottom of these. So threaded ends into the bottom. And again, finger tight on these should be just fine. Maybe you can horse them down a little bit more by hand, not with like a tool or something. But you can use a tool if you want to. If you're neurotic about leaks. I'm not really, though I've never had a system leak on me before, so that should be good enough. Pretty tightly on there. Go ahead and put the compression fittings on. lightly tighten them down there. Tighten them down. So, there you go. Just about 2 seconds to, well, more than 2 seconds, but pretty quick to install them. So, I'm going to put this somewhere, I guess down here. So it won't fit back in the box. Let's get the larger one out here. All this stuff from both of them in here. Okay. Now this one, we're going to go on the bottom. So it's going to sit like this in the CPU. Or in the case. Sit this way, bolt to the top. Two of these, another two of these. Same process again. Tighten them in. Now I may just tighten them down a bit. This, just a little bit. Just to make sure they got the proper seal and whatnot. Good. Okay. Actually, I want to do that with these two. So I will tighten them down a little, tighter than hand tight. Just a little bit though. Not even like an eighth of a turn, just a little extra tenth of a twist there. Let's go from the other side so I can get a better angle on it. A little scuffed up, but you know, adds some character. Plus, you won't be able to see that stuff anyway, because the fittings, you know, the compression pieces will go over them. That's those two. Let's move on to the pump now. So, let me see if there's any particular. All right, so the reservoir will come in from the top, either this inlet or this inlet. Then the exfiltration will be from this inlet. I would suggest that if you want to have your loop be faster, you go in here and out here. But if you want to have more of a centralized kind of reservoir instead of it just coming off of like a tank reservoir or something, you can go off the center, which is what we're going to go here. So I'm going to put the plug in this top one right here. What we'll do is we'll get that massive bit from over here somewhere. Wherever it's at, this, yeah. This thing is awesome. I didn't even know they were going to have this kind of a size of a bit here. Bring it down a little more. Alright, so let's go ahead and tighten this in. Again, you don't have to go super duper tight, but just get it about hand tight. Maybe a little bit more than hand tight. Then we'll go ahead and put the fittings in. Let's see. Pretty much everything these days, as far as you know, the major kind of water supply stuff makers, they all use these G1/4 threaded fittings. So there's no need to kind of figure all that out. But I think there are other threading types. I think G1/4 is the most common though. So again, we're just going to tighten them down a little bit more. And with this, you don't want to tighten them down too much because it is Plexi that you're going into, so just be aware of that. Let's get them down enough to where it's fairly secure, fairly not going anywhere. And then we'll go and put the fittings on top. So we're getting there. Things are coming together. Then I have to put the threading on the right side. Okay. I don't know when we'd ever need that stuff, but maybe we will in the future sometime. Put that over here too. Okay, now, I guess we'll go on to the cards now. Should we crack that before I slice anything open? So the same process with the other ones. Get 2 of these out. We do one on each side. So I can just latch onto this barb section here and just tighten it down that way. Again, don't want to go too tight. Don't want to strip anything or break anything. Go ahead and just tighten these down now. Move over to the other one. It's pretty tight. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention on these cards is, you see this here? I don't know if you can. It's like a little switch. Tiny little switch there. You can kind of see it there. I think that's the BIOS switch. So you change this to get to a different BIOS setting. I'll have to look it up and see what it is, and I'll let you know before we install these into the case with those, what they're for, and if they're the BIOS, which BIOS is the overclocker BIOS. All right, so not sure if this will fit perfectly in here anymore, and it should, in theory. Now we're going to have to do a little excavation, some more excavation here, which is fine. I mean, I don't mind doing it. It's just somewhat annoying. I actually already started a little bit from deeper cuts when I was cutting out stuff for the other time. Let me just get rid of this. Actually, that puts it right on top. Well, it should be enough. Put this on top of this side here. I think the story I'm most going to have is, how far, yeah, see, it still kind of sticks out of the top there. Maybe let's put this back underneath. I'm not sure how much more cutting that's going to give it though. I think it'll be enough. No, it'll be just a little bit of the box that'll be sticking up. Not too much. Yeah, that's fine. That'll work. So I'm going to switch you over to this box, because you're sitting on top of the other box for the graphics card. Other graphics card box. The first time actually having 2 cards at the build to work with here. Onset of the build. So, take this out. Same thing with this one. Put the bottom section out of this. Okay. Put this on the bottom. Alright, so that's good. Put the card back out here. I think that the heatsink on the original fan heatsink did cover a little more stuff on the board, like these capacitors back here. Those were covered by the board, I think. the heatsink on the previous, the fan's air-based heatsink for this that comes on it by default. So I'm not really sure what kind of an effect that's going to have, or if it's going to have any effect at all, really. I think these capacitors are probably rated for high temperatures, so it won't really matter too much to them. Just mangling the heck out of this one. Alright. I mangled the heck out of that one. That shouldn't matter. Like I said, the compression part of it is what holds the tube on. It's not a barb fitting, so that would matter. So, just gotta put it in there. Fits right in. Getting a little low on the battery for this thing. May have to stop for a little while. Just gonna recharge it. And that is, I think actually we're done. Oh no, wait, we got the board to go yet. Maybe we can get that done before the thing decides to clunk out here. So I got the board to do yet. And actually I forgot to put these on, so I'll put those onto the card too. I'm in a little bit of a hurry here. Just grab the board out. It's a little bit lighter now that huge heat sink's not on there. It's kind of cool. Okay. I actually have one extra fitting that we're not going to need to use on this build here. So yeah, I won't put the fittings on the reservoir on video. I'll just do that off video. So not supposed to have to go, I believe, to do anything for this. Okay. Okay, on there pretty good. Okay, remember the other day I mentioned I thought a butt brush. I think it was this, the release thing for this PCIe port. Okay, and the board's ready to go now. There we go. So, I'm gonna go ahead and pause, stop recording. Charge up the camera, and we'll start again later on, and continue from there and start doing some of the build. So I will see you in about probably 30 to 40 minutes. I don't know what you will do with your pump top. I guess whatever you want to. It's like what do you do with the frigging air coolers from the graphics cards? I don't know. Just keep them somewhere, I guess. You probably, well, no, I guess you couldn't use it. Well, let me see. No, you can't. There's only through screws on the one side, so you can't use this either. The mounting bracket from the other one. So you can use this stuff, the like the dampening foam that they give you. I think you need to use the mounting screws from this as well for mounting it into your case. So that's what we'll do. Got washers, some pads, and actual pads that go on there, like foam rubber washers for sound dampening, I guess. And then we got this pad here, which is a double-sided pad. Again, I guess just for the same reason. We may need to modify that though, because this will be sitting on here like this. And we'll have this down here. And, well, yeah, the pad will have to only cover a certain amount of it. Well, I don't, well, yes. So, yeah, we're gonna go, let's go ahead and put this on right now, just because it'd be nice to do it. Just kind of get a visual of how this would work. I'm not gonna screw it down, I'm just gonna put the screws in. Well, I guess maybe we'll have to screw the screws in a little bit to get them to stay. It's kind of a visual look at how this is going to work. Because while these on this side, then we'll have to do the screws for the mounting from the other direction. So these will go flush. So now, yeah, we could go over the top here. The only problem with this being is that we would have to. Actually, it fits pretty well. We'll have to trim some off the bottom, but actually maybe not. Let's see. Okay, it's too wide, so maybe cut it in half, cut like it into strips that we put on. A strip for this and a strip for that, and maybe some in the middle. But the pad's a little too wide for this mounting bracket. Is this wider? Yeah, this is a lot wider than that. So some modifications if you want to use this, which I'm going to, just for some noise dampening, vibration dampening. So let's go ahead and do that right now since we're on that topic. I'll just leave this as it is. Now we're just going to take the tried and true method of measuring with the so I'm going to get a fairly good chunk here. I guess it's not meant to be exact, but it's meant to be exact enough that we can just go down and cut this. This is really thick foam though, so maybe a little more difficult to cut some of the other stuff. Should probably do this on a box or something. Let's get this over here. Okay, there's the first one that'll go on here like this. Well, this way. Boom. We'll need to trim some off the bottom too. I'll do that with some scissors or something. It'd be a lot easier to do this with scissors too, but it's just, yeah, get to use this, so doing it with this. Actually, what I might do is just put this here and we'll just cut along that edge for the initial slice here. Well, that was a good idea to start out with, but it's a little more difficult than it seems. Not close enough. Let's go a little off of that mark though. Okay. So mangling this box below it. What's this box for anyway? I don't even know. Obviously it's one of the EK things, but I don't ever be using these again, I don't think. So it's fine. Okay. It's almost, not quite. A few extra spaces to cut on the back here. There we go. And then we'll take the middle one and, you know, do something with it later on. Actually, I think I have. Do I have? Is it a cutting mechanism? No. Okay, I'll put it up for some reason.